The Sonic.exe Parallax Redefined mod just dropped, and it has a bunch of interesting EXE characters and lore that I think you may be interested in. Now, Boyfriend is the main character in this mod, and it seems that he's been actually sucked into the virtual world this time because a guy named Kyle gave him a few Sonic tapes and games to watch and play. And if you are familiar with creepypastas at all, you know that it's always a guy named Kyle that starts this crap, and the tapes and games are always haunted. Now, the first character that Boyfriend runs into is called Satan OS, aka Centanos, which I believe means Satan in Spanish. You guys may remember this character because he was also in the Sonic.exe mod a few years ago, but this version has a completely different backstory. In the original lore, there was a company called Daredevil, which was actually a group of cultists, and they would sell copies of popular video games, but the games would be infused with like the essence of Centanos. And when people would play the game, they would awaken this evil version of Sonic. But this new version's lore doesn't actually have the company Daredevil attached to it, but instead just states that he's like a evil entity that has taken the form of Sonic the Hedgehog in order to spread his demonic views. And it seems like he does this through the internet and computers in general. The next version of Sonic is NES Sonic, and this one actually looks pretty tame at first glance, but it gets darker as time goes on. And a lot of people think when I say it gets darker, I'm talking about Eggman here because he does look a lot like Starved Eggman, but it's actually much worse than that. NES Sonic is a ROM that was created by a serial killer and is meant to actually be a puzzle. And if a person can actually solve the puzzle, they will actually be able to find 5 children that were victims of this serial killer. And this is why we actually see this scene here. It's literally talking about the missing children and the fact that by the time they were found, their bodies were decayed. The third cutscene is pretty much the same, but it's talking about a specific kid here, this time named Gary.
Hi, Gary. I'm not sure where you went recently, but I hope you're doing fine, dude. I wanted to record something for you since kind of just disappeared on us. Really missed you, and I hope you're all right at least. We hope you return soon, man. We miss you. We miss you a lot.
And the fourth cutscene shows what actually happens when a person solves the puzzle, and we learn that the serial killer's name is actually John Mulder.
My oh my, what do we have here? Someone who was brave enough to finally solve it. I guess it's finally time for me to step out of the shadows and congratulate you for your grand and heroic efforts. My name is John Mulder. You won't be able to find my body, any remains of me, or my location. When your time comes and you arrive at Hell's Door, I'll be waiting to shake your hand.
We also learned that this guy has schizophrenia and like his brain was deteriorating, and this may be part of the reason why he was murdering children, but also I just think he was an evil person. All in all, a very dark story. Next we have Game Over Sonic and Tail, and these characters are from a creepypasta called Till Death Do Us Part, and the summary of it goes like this. Back in the day, there was a rumor of a lost episode of the Sonic the Hedgehog show that ended up being thrown out because it was too graphic for children. But the protagonist of the story wanted to find the lost tape so that he could actually relive that small part of his childhood, and he eventually found the tape on 4chan. Now, when he started watching the video, he noticed very quickly that it looked a bit off, but he decided to watch it anyway. And the tape starts off by showing Sonic and Tails flying in their plane called the Tornado, heading over to fight Dr. Eggman. And then out of nowhere, the plane is suddenly shot down. Tails dies on impact while Sonic is able to survive, but he seemed to have had like a mental breakdown because he was calling for Tails even though he knows that his friend is dead now. And while he's calling for Tails, we see these shadowy figures come out of the darkness and attack him. And even though we don't see Sonic die, we hear him scream as the screen actually cuts to just static. This of course freaked out the protagonist, so he just decided to cut the tape off and go to sleep. But while he was sleeping, he had a nightmare where he saw both Sonic and Tails in their grave. But he learned very quickly that the two of them were not actually dead because they were literally clawing themselves out of the dirt. And when they finally emerged from the grave, they looked like zombies and they were trying to attack the protagonist. And the image of them that we see in the mod is what they actually look like in the creepypasta. But with that being said, all in all, I thought this mod was really well done. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video on the screen here. Subscribe today to become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we will see you tomorrow with another video. Peace, peace.